Good morning, students. Welcome to management lecture today's. Okay. In this today's session, we'll be dealing about the law of supply and various things. Okay. In the last class, we discussed law of demand and all these things. In the last class, we discussed about the what is the demand, definitions of demand, and the relationship between demand and the price. Okay, that is known as demand relationships. And we are discussed about the important features of the demand. Okay, so there should be adequate or the satisfactory purchasing power should be there. It is always at the price, and it's expressed in terms of specific quantities, and it is related to the time. Okay, we discussed all this in the previous classes, and we discussed some of the assumptions of law of demand. There should not be no change in the consumers like taste and performance preferences. Income should remain constant. The price of the other goods should not change. There is no substitute for the commodity or the goods or the services. Okay. The commodity should not confer any distinctions. Demand for the commodity should be continuous. These are the some of the assumptions. Then only all these things the law of demand holds good. Okay, the people should not expect any changes in the price of the commodities. Okay, if it is varying, the law of demand does not holds good. Okay, uh, coming to next, the the law of demand said that if all these factors are remain equal, the higher the price of the good and the less the people will demand that for that good. Okay, so if the price of the good is very higher, okay, if the price is very higher side, then the demand for that product or the good is very less. Okay, the price become downside or the less, the demand for that product will be more. There will be risen in the demand for the product. Okay, the amount of goods the buyer purchase at a higher price is less. You can see over here. The amount of good goods the buyer purchase at higher price. At higher price is less because the price of the goods goes up, so the opportunity cost of buying these goods, okay, so the less because the opportunities cost will be gone increasing. Higher the price of the product, lesser will be the demand for that product. As a result, naturally naturally avoid the buying the product avoid the buying product that will force them to forego the consumption of something else they value more. Okay, so all these things happens naturally. Okay, so the price is very more. So coming to next is very important. Okay, as we previously described the demand concept. Similarly, the supply is also plays a very crucial role in the market economy. Okay, so supply and demand are goes in hand by hand. Okay, the supply represent how much market can offer. Okay, how much can producer can supply this his product to the market. Okay, it refers to the, you can say that it refers to the supply is refers to the amount of certain producers, okay, willing to supply when receiving a certain price. Okay, the amount of certain producers or the suppliers are willing to supply when they are receiving at certain price at the amount. Okay, the correlationship between the price, okay, and how much of the goods and services supplied, okay, to the market is known as the supply relationships, is known as the supply relationships. And the price is the reflection of supply and demand. Okay, so both all goes in hand by hand. Okay, so these are the very important. The price is common in both the cases. Okay, the supply as well as demand of the goods, it really depends on the price of the product. Next we will be studying very important, the law of supply. The law of supply state that, okay, the law of supply state that if the price is low, if the price is low, the producers restrain, holds, okay, restrain from releasing more quantities of the product in the market. Okay, for example, if the onion price is less, the suppliers won't supply this onions to the market. Okay, so as and when its prices become slightly higher, then they will release the product to the markets. Okay, so suddenly there is a rise in the onion price, rise in these various commodities. So why this happens? Because the suppliers won't supply this product at the right times. As the demand increases, the value for the price increases, then they will start supplying. So hence supply of the product is decreased. Okay, hence the supply of the product is decreased. From the figure, point out the point of intersection of curve, supply curve and the demand curve is called as the equilibrium point. We'll show this equilibrium point. Okay, what that equilibrium point is that at this point, at the equilibrium point, okay, at this particular point or the equilibrium point, the quantity of supply, understand this, the quantity of supply is 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 equal to the quantity of demand. Okay, so wherever it meets, okay, so at this particular point the quantity of supply is equals to the quantity of demand. That point is called as equilibrium point. Okay, so next we'll be seeing this the supply and demand relationship curve with the price. So this curve is of at this point, okay, so this is the equilibrium point, okay, where the demand and supply are in equal ratio. Okay, so this is the demand curve, okay, and this is the supply curve. Okay, so as the quantity is on the x-axis, the amount of quantity needed, okay, the price on the y-axis. Okay, as you are moving, okay, the more the demand, lesser will be the, okay, more the demand, lesser will be the your price. If you see from here, higher the demand, okay, so higher the price is higher, at the same time the demand is being decreased. Okay, you can observe this one, very important. Okay, as the demand is increasing, okay, it means that the price has been decreased. Okay, as the price is increased, okay, the demand has been reduced. Okay, if you see for the supply curve, okay, supply curve, this is a supply curve. Okay, the higher the price, higher the price, okay, higher the price, higher will be the supply. Okay, as the price decreases, okay, the price decreases, okay, as the price decreases, the supply is also going to be decreases. Okay, you can see this also at this point, at this point, at the equilibrium point, the quantity of supply and quantity of demand is be becoming equal. Okay, so this is the things. So factors influencing for the demand. Okay, the shape of the demand curve is influenced by the following factors, like income of the command, next the price of the related goods, and taste of the consumers. It varies with all these factors. Okay, three main factors. We'll see that if the income of the people increases, the purchasing power increases. Okay, he will go for another things, another commodities. Okay, then the automatically demand will be changing. Okay, if he has a 10 rupees, he will purchase only a small quantity or less features product. Okay, if it is having more income, we'll start buying for the new things or the new higher version of the product. Okay, all these things going to be happening. For example, all these things civil tested you have given. Okay, so this example you have given there. Okay, over a period of time, the preference of the people with a particular period, okay, on the particular product may increase. Okay, which will affect in turn with the demand. Okay, the as the period of, as the time passes on, okay, the people may demand for the product. Okay, then the demand will also changes. Okay, so next the factors influencing for the supply. Okay, the cost of the inputs, technology, weather, and the price of related goods. Okay. So these are all the things which how the supply will be changing. Okay. What are the factors which will influence on the supply? Okay. The price of the fertilizers and cost of labor increases. The profit margin for the per bag, the paddy will be reduced. This is an example he has given. We are discussing. Since the farmer will reduce the area of cultivation and supply of the paddy will be reduced. Okay. So these costs are going increasing the cost of the inputs. Okay, inputs what we are going to inputs the fertilizers and the labor cost. Okay. Then the supply is also going to be reduced because the cost for the initial inputs are very higher. So all these just common things. Okay. If there is an advancement in the technology used to manufacture the product, then there will be reduction in the production cost of the products. Okay. If we are having the new technologies, earlier we are going with the lathe machines. If we are having the CNC machines, okay, so then we'll have more quantity can be supplied very easily and with accuracies. So in the agriculture product, weather is also plays a major role. During the winter, the demand for the woolen product will be increasing. So producers will supply more woolen products during these winters. So as on the seasonal changes, so seasonal changes are also influence on the these things. Okay. Next, we will see this elasticity of demand. Okay. So, elasticity of demand is nothing but the responsiveness or sensitiveness of demand. Okay. We can see that responsiveness or sensitiveness of demand, how it is sensitive to the demand given change in the price, given change in the price or the non-price determinations of the product or the commodities. Okay, the capacity of demand is either stretch or shrink to given change in the price or non-price determinants. Okay, either it may increase or decrease. Okay, so that changes is called as elasticity. Okay, the changes is happening, either it is going the shrinking, the demand is getting reduced, the demand is getting increased. Okay, so that thing is called as the product elasticity of demand. Okay, so how it is being calculated? Okay. It is calculated by taking the percentage change in the quantity of goods demanded. Okay. What the percentage the good is demanded earlier to now. Okay. The difference. Okay. Dividing it by dividing it by the percentage change in the another economical variables. Okay, it may be input cost, output cost, all these economical variables are very matters. So here the next we'll